Hi everybody! Today I'm going to make a DIY shampoo bar. This is one of all my friends and family's favorite product that I make. In fact, I have a hard time keeping them in stock. So I'm going to show you how to make them today. They are usually available on my Etsy shop. You'll have to give it a check and see if you're interested. But to start out, to make any soap, you always need to be prepared. So I'm going to get my shampoo bar and set it off to the side and show you all my materials I have. I have my digital scale. I got this one on Amazon for about $10. You have your lye. I use the Red Crown lye. You can use whatever kind of lye you want. I have some organic coconut oil. Here's the front. But you want everything out and ready. Sunflower oil. We're going to use apple cider vinegar. And as we go through and put this soap together, we're going to tell you why each ingredient was picked. I have castor oil, olive oil. A lot of these things are available at your local supermarket or on Amazon. I'll put some links for the stuff I get on Amazon. But I do try to buy stuff local whenever I can. Any of the Now stuff, we have a health hut that has all that. I put some Moroccan red clay in there. Avocado, she's all ready to go. I use this is actually like my winter scarf thing, but I use this because it's easy. Put it around when I am mixing the lye so I don't breathe any in. I got my gloves here ready to go. Stick blender, spatula, and I use soap molds. I know a lot of people like to cut it themselves, but I like the molds. I stick with them. It makes a nice small bar. I'm small. I have a small hand, and it's easier to deal with. I think one less step for me at the end. And then I almost did forget, I do have some cocoa butter here too. So I'm going to try and do an overhead video like I see other people do. We'll see how that goes. But I thought then you'll be able to see the scale and go through all that. So I'm going to set that up and then we'll start putting the ingredients in. So be back in a sec. So to start off with, we're going to mix our lye and coconut milk together. We like coconut milk because it's a natural hair conditioner. It should help condition all hair types. It's not going to make your hair greasy if it's oily. It's going to nourish your hair no matter what you got. So I'm going to weigh the lye first. We want 4.4 ounces. I'm actually doubling the recipe. So the recipe I'm going to put below is gonna only be 2.2 ounces. But I just know that I use this faster than I can make it. Getting some chunks in it. There we go. Which the chunks are alright. Makes it a little easier to pick out when you get a little too much. Alright, so we got the 4.4 ounces of lye. We're going to set that aside because we always want to add the lye to the material, in this case coconut milk. Now a lot of people do all frozen coconut milk. I personally like to, gotta zero out my scale. I personally like to have some frozen and all cold, otherwise I find it's just too hard to mix in. So I want 5.2 ounces. This is ice cold coconut milk. And then I got the 2 cubes besides that. There we go. And then so we don't get burning, I keep this on ice while I mix it. So I know you can't see me, but I'm going to put this thing over my face. And we're just going to stir this lye right in. You always want to add the lye to. You don't add to the lye. It's going to heat up quite a bit. I hope you can hear me with my face mask on. That's why we got it some cubes in there and it on ice. I've heard people say they have problems with it burning if it's not all frozen. I haven't had a problem as long as I keep stirring it and keep it in the ice and the ice on it. Okay, our cubes are fully melted. Our lye seems to be fully dissolved. Now we're just gonna set this aside to cool off while we do the next step. All right, as our lye is cooling, we are going to measure out our butters. I need 16 ounces of coconut oil. I shouldn't say butters. It could be butter, could be oil, could be a saturated oil. So I'm gonna zero out my scale and we're gonna get 16 ounces. We want coconut oil because it is a great cleaner. It makes a long lasting, harder bar instead of just melting away. It's also great for your skin and your hair. So I don't know if you can see that from up above, but we are right at 16 ounces. A little bit over. Some people just keep adding to this. I don't like to, because if you end up off in a liquid, it's, what do? You can't just take out that liquid. So we're gonna just re-zero every time. Now we need some olive oil. I need 6.4 ounces of olive oil. Olive oil is a mild oil. It's nourishing for your skin, for your hair, whether you have oily skin or dry. So we want 6.4 ounces for a double recipe of olive oil. All right, we got our 6.4 ounces. We're gonna dump that in with the coconut. Next, we want 4.5 ounces of castor oil. We got a little residue in there, but that's okay because we're zeroing out the scale each time. So at the end, I'm gonna scrape it out and I'll have exactly the right amount of each kind. Of course, on video, I got a brand new castor oil that I didn't open because that's the kind of thing I do. All right, 4.5 ounces of castor oil. I love castor oil for my hair. I actually put some on my tips every day. I have a frankincense salve and it makes it, I just love how it looks. It makes it look moisturized, but not greasy. It's very light. So we got 4.5 ounces of castor oil. Castor oil is also said to encourage hair growth. Add some lather to the soap. Next we need sunflower oil. We're gonna go 2.56 ounces of sunflower oil. Similar to olive oil, it adds great lather, nourishes your hair. All right, so I got my sunflower oil measured out now. We're gonna dump that in with all the other oils. And last but not least, we need some cocoa butter. This is a hard oil. I should have probably done it in the beginning. Cocoa butter is a great conditioner. Adds moisture to your hair. So let's zero out our scale. And we want 2.56 ounces of cocoa butter. It also adds a nice smell. That piece is going to be too big. It smells a little bit chocolatey. Ooh, that is too big. We gotta get a couple little ones out of here. We're at 2.08. I use a soap calc to calculate my soaps. A lot of times I'll start from someone else's base recipe and then change it depending on, and it'll help you make those recommendations. All right, so then we got our cocoa butter. Now it's the end. We're gonna scrape this all out and put it over in the double boiler. All right, so while I'm double boiling, I'm gonna start my next step. This is how you do soap. You just gotta keep rolling with it. gonna do my avocado. We'll zero out the scale. We want 2.5 ounces of avocado. The first time I made this soap, I was so excited. I threw the whole avocado in a single recipe. And even doing that, it turned okay. It turned out okay. For how scared people are of making soap, it's pretty forgiving. All right, I got a little bit of extra, 2.8. And that is fine with me. I like the avocado in there. So with the avocado, I'm gonna mix in some apple cider vinegar. 1 ounce. Shoot, I should have done that first. Let's take this out. Oh, I can zero it. I can zero it, but I have to be really careful now to not go over. Though avocado and apple cider vinegar really are not gonna mix like olive and sunflower oil would. So we want 1 ounce of apple cider vinegar. That's gonna help bring the pH of the soap to a pH similar to your hair. When you change the pH dramatically by washing it, it makes your hair create more oils and stuff. All right, so this apple cider vinegar and avocado, we want to get smooth, really smooth, no chunks. That is one nice thing about the double recipe. Try mixing that in a single recipe. It's already not enough with a double recipe. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now we just gotta wait. Wait for our oils to be melted. Give my lye a quick mix while we're waiting. So this is my double boiler setup. It probably is not the safest, but I like this pan. It's easy to grab. It doesn't get hot, and it's got a nice flat bottom for when I want to stick blend it later on. So we are just about dissolved. When we're all set, then I'll bring it over and we will add the lye to it. All right, so I have my gloves back on. My butters and oils are all melted up. I am going to scrape the lye in there. While I was waiting, I got everything all cleaned up. You're just kind of sitting around so you get everything out. Start the oil, and then you get, while the oil's melting, you put everything away. And then you're almost done. Want to wipe the bottom of this off. You can't see it, but it's dripping underneath, and we don't want to throw off our ratios. All right. So we always add the lye to. We never add to the lye. Just go a little bit at a time. All right, let's give this a nice scraping. Make sure we got it all. Now as we blend, it's going to get thicker and thicker, and that's called trace. The first couple times I made soap, I got it really thick. It was hard to get into the mold. You really don't need to get it that thick. Just so it gets a light trace when you drip onto the top surface. It's getting really close to trace. I don't know if you can tell from overhead, but when it drips, you can tell it's a thicker liquid dripping in, more of like a syrupy liquid. So now I'm going to get my molds ready. I'm not going to pour it in yet, but you'll see when I add the avocado and clay, it's going to trace pretty quickly. So I want 2 tablespoons of the clay. I'm going to add it into my avocado. Cover it up. You'll feel the soap bowl is pretty warm. Stir in here. I want my spatula pretty clean because I'm going to use it to spread it in the molds later. All right, so here we go. Let's trace this soap. At this point, you could add any essential oils you might want. I don't add anything to this soap. I do have another one that I make for thinning hair, and that I do add some rosemary and lavender and some stinging nettle, but we're young, we got nice hair. We don't need anything extra. Keep it to the minimum. All right, so there we go. It's thick. When you drip it in there, it'll make a mark. I think you can see it even from overhead. Oh yeah. So that is ready. You don't need it like, first couple times I almost did it like paste. And it really made my life more difficult. This should make almost all 12 of these bars. I don't know if you can tell, it's thickening up as I pour it even. Lose any? Now, because the avocado and the apple cider vinegar, this is a hot bar. I put it in the refrigerator for about 3 hours so it doesn't gel, which means just makes the soap still works fine, but it makes it a weird color. Make it a weird color and not a consistent color. Everybody likes consistency. Another reason I like to use the molds is a lot of the bars I'll put something on top, and I'd like the whole top covered, not just one end. There we go. Very close to 12 full bars of shampoo. I'm going to put these in the fridge and we will take them out in about 3 hours, pop them out of the mold, and let them sit to cure for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, we'll put them in a wrapper and then they will look like the bar of soap I had earlier. I don't know where I put it right now though. So, if you like this video and like to see more like it, make sure you comment below, subscribe to my channel so I know someone's watching, and I hope to hear from you soon. If you'd like to purchase a shampoo bar, try it out before you make it yourself. I have some available at my Etsy shop at most times. Thanks, we'll talk to you soon. Bye!